We've done the Mammoth motocross for 45 years now. Started in 1968. Handful of guys that were a club in town, and they just decided that they wanted to put on a race like all the other clubs in California were doing for a while. So they got the guys together, and each one of the club members got to pick a section of track that they liked from somewhere else. So one guy picked the downhill from Carson City, and another guy picked the sand wash section from somewhere else. And they put together their own track here. Well, in about the second or third year of doing this race, they had 500 entries, and it was a small club of about 8 or 9 guys. So what happened was they really needed some help. They needed some support to make this thing, you know, at least manageable, because everybody wanted to come do it. We were a little fishing village in the 60s, and Dave McCoy from Mammoth Mountain Ski Area said, I got equipment, I like racing motorcycles, let's get this thing going. So he put together a plan to just help the club, make it a non-profit, let's make it really run. So they put together a really good program of a lottery system, let people get in, and they grew the thing year after year, and it became a pretty good staple for the community of, hey, it's motocross weekend, and here we come, here comes everybody. And it started off being a couple of day event, you know, but throughout the week we'll end up with almost 4,000 riders in the 10 days that we're running. So a lot of visits, big impact to the community now, because they can do a little spike on the sales tax to actually tell you that we make about $15 to $20 million during this 10 days in the town, you know, before and after. And that's because racers come spend money. They groceries, gas, condos. That's what this vacation means to this many people. Okay, so the permit we have for the operation here, it's under the Forest Service. We have to go through a process to obtain that permit every year. So they have a very strict set of guidelines. It's called an operating plan, and we go through detail by detail and make sure we deliver and are accountable to them on exactly what they put out. So we have a really good set of guidelines that we have to go by. There's some that are, you know, any other track you get to go, you bring your pit bike and your golf cart and all that stuff. They won't let us do that here. Dogs, out of the question. We have to be really careful on where we ride and how we, you know, touch this footprint. It's about 19 acres. It hasn't grown in 30 years. It's still the same 19 acres. We really concentrate all the use that we do for these 10 days in this small spot. So that's why everybody's out every night, everybody's back in every day, and we live by that plan, so we get to do it again. So we're very careful on how we execute what we do. Anything we bring in is, the botanist has to look at it, make sure we're not bringing some noxious weed into the area. So we do all of our own dirt on premise. We sort, we replace, we replenish. We do all that stuff on site. So we go in and we make the right holes, we mine the right little sections and replace them for drainage and things like that. But this year we rented a piece of equipment that's like a big rake on the front of a skid steer, a little loader, and it just raked. And we raked 3 or 4 times before everybody got here, all the little stones, the stuff, you know, smaller than a golf ball up to the size of your fist, because we haven't been able to do it for a few years, but we raked all that off, and we're starting to see the benefit of that now. The track's really coming around today and sticking together pretty well and not throwing rocks at you. So that was the thing we wanted to do a few years, and we come up with a solution on how to do it. With our permit requirements and all the things we have there, we can't grow the event. We've almost sold out every single gate. We've sold out every minute of lap time that we can during the day. We've got it in a program where we know exactly how many riders can fit each lap, but it was at about 100%. So we decided to secure those riders through a qualifying series. So Myron Short from 2X Promotions and I put together the qualifying series that we have and the model that we are following. And we went out and put this thing together to where we're going to hit a couple of our really strong demographic areas. You know, we're a Southern California ski area, where the Southern California moto base really strong, but there's a lot of guys in the Central Valley and Northern California or, you know, Reno area. So we put together to hit those items, and we were like, that's pretty good. Then we started putting together the pieces of, you know what, a couple of our biggest guys, you know, with Fly and with Racer X now and with Pirelli and those guys from Idaho, and Rod invited us up to do one at their place. So we went up there and did one and just fell in love with it. But once it wasn't a 10-day event, 11-day event, now it's a 6-month thought. You start thinking about it in January, getting ready to go, and then you qualify and you're training, and then you get to come here in June and you're still talking about it in July. That only leaves a few months to get ready for it again. So we became more the culture's buried in your calendar, you know that, but now your culture's buried in, you know, thinking about it year round. So once we did that, we're a pretty good partnership with Monster already through some of the other things we did, and then we were able to, you know, label it onto this. So Monster is We already know them as Supercross and the high end, but they really wanted to be attached to that grassroots group of what we deliver. That's the guys we deliver. So we put together a plan with them to be our title on all that. But once we did that and we have the security of going and doing our qualifiers, then we were able to attract the level we needed to. And we've always had the great sponsors. You know, Fly's been involved with us for 10 or 15 years now. But to be able to raise them to the level of being one of those guys on the road too with us, supporting all the little pieces that go with it, that goes for, I mean, Pirelli jumped in, FMF's been in. These are guys that we've had as partners for a long time, but now there's just more opportunity to be connected with us as we go out there on the road. And then bring everybody back here for the final. And they're talking about it all year. That's the thing you want them to do, is they got to get ready for their local ones. They got to stay training, so they need gear all year. They need tires, they need stuff all year. But they get to, you know, come to here and use it all. It's pretty good.